Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Well, I'm a child of the 70s, and I remember back then, liberals used to be all about organic and granola and stuff like that, and we got to stay away from the ultra-processed stuff and the chemicals, etc. And something weird happened. I'm watching liberal news media defending ultra-processed food, and it's like, wait a second, when did this happen? This is not typical, And the only thing I can think of is, we are become so polarized and so tribal that everybody just engages in ad hominem attacks where we're attacking people, not the ideas, and we're not looking at the ideas anymore. And as a result, Trump has got a guy by the name of Bobby Kennedy who's going to be overseeing the food production and medicine, etc. And because we don't like Trump, we're going to ignore Bobby Kennedy and the ideas that he has just strictly because of who he is. And that's wrong. See, and an ad hominem attack is one of the worst logic fallacies that you can make, because you don't look at the merit of the ideas. You just attack strictly on the person that is making the idea. Look, stopwatches are right twice a day, and you need to look at the merits of the actual argument. And that's the mistake the liberals are making right now because of the tribal nature of what politics has become. And it seems that, I don't know if there's a solution to that, but frankly, I'm excited about the fact that we, for the second time in this nation's history, we are taking a serious look at the food supply. The first time was back in the 1900s when Upton Sinclair wrote his book, The Jungle, and he talked about the really icky nature of how food production, particularly what was going on with beef production and slaughterhouses in Chicago back then, and the unsanitary nature of it, and the fact that we were selling unsanitary meat to folks and putting people's health at risk. And the government at that time, because, look, I'm a big believer in market capitalism. I think eventually the system does clean itself up, but it needs to be a level playing field. And at that time, you had these large corporate giants that had monopoly control, and there needed to be a regulation over it. And the government stepped in. They created the Pure Food and Drug Acts and stuff like that to help clean up a lot of the excesses that were going on with unbridled free market stuff and monopoly practices. Great. The problem is, now we have regulatory capture, where the government, which is supposed to be looking after that stuff, is actually aiding these large monopolies in our food production and pharmaceutical production to keep out competition, keep prices high, and lower the quality of the food that we are eating. And it is having a tremendous effect in our overall health. I mean, you can't ignore it any longer. When you've got over 60% of this country that is now obese, we've got huge amounts of the population is a type 2 diabetic. We're only about 7% of America is metabolically healthy at this time. We are looking at tremendous cost for this stuff. The cost of taking care of type 2 diabetics is projected to be nearly $1 trillion in the coming years. We have a tough time being able to defend ourselves as a country because 3/4 of the people that are 18 to 24 are ineligible to serve because of health reasons. They're obese, they're type 2 diabetics, etc. That's a problem. And it's a huge problem, and frankly, it can be fixed. Type 2 diabetes is a reversible thing if people are just told how to eat, and and they can get quality food at a decent price. The problem is government regulations have gone from trying to protect the consumers to working against the consumers. Take a look at the way we do beef production. We've got a monopoly control where basically 3 companies control all the beef. Tyson controls all the chicken and a lot of the pork. We got a handful of companies that are utilizing government to keep out any competition. And this is creating huge problems. It's increasing the cost of all this stuff. We've become completely dependent on a handful of places to get things like eggs and dairy, etc. And we've lost choices because of government regulation. We can't get milk straight from the cow, from Amish farmers. That to me is absolutely ridiculous. That's where we are. We have lost all choice because of government regulations, and that's going to, I think, start to change. That's what's exciting about what's going on. That the market can correct itself if the government gets out of the way, and that is what I think is going to be happening over the next couple of years. And look, 30 years from now, we may need more government in there because there's little, we probably will take the too much of the controls off in our need to change things. But that's okay. It works out eventually. Everything's kind of an ebb and flow. Nothing stays the same. I'm not worried about it. But right now, we need to get the government out of our health care, because obviously there's too much corporate capture at the moment, and that needs to be fixed. And we need to get rid of the ultra processed foods, and we need to get people have the ability to get real information. And it's kind of cool, that when you think about it, Zuckerberg is taking off fact checkers from Facebook. X exists, and people, there's robust discussion starting to happen around health again. And frankly, I don't want to. I think I know the answers to what works for me as far as health is concerned, but I don't want to have one source of truth on all this stuff. I really do want to have people that have lots of information from a lot of different sources. Yes, it's a little confusing. Yes, it's a little messy, but it works over time. And that's what we really want and need. And hopefully, as now that we can have free discussions about this type of stuff, things will start to clear out again. That's what my hope is. And I'm glad that we've got a new administration that is taking a look at this particular issue, and hopefully we will begin to see the changes that we need to do, and the playing field will become level once again, and we can get serious competition as far as our food supply is concerned, and free information. This is the type of stuff that I have been hoping for a long time, and hope that we see more of. So it is an exciting time. Don't get all wrapped up into ad hominem attacks. Realize that the market eventually clears itself up. Don't give up hope, and realize that it's not going to, and at the end of the day, you get a vote every single day. Every single time you go to the grocery store, you vote. You vote with your dollars. What you purchase, when you decide not to get ultra processed food, when you get whole meat, when you start buying from local ranchers, when you start buying from co-ops and stuff like that, when you find somebody that produces eggs in their backyard, all these type of decisions are really helping to change our food environment and making America a much healthier place. And we do it one person at a time. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Try to put out a couple messages each week. If you like this message, please hit like and subscribe. Join this channel of other like-minded people, because frankly, in this fight for our health, you're all alone. We are all alone in this fight to get healthy, but we can all be alone in this together. I will talk to you again soon.